What's up, everyone? Welcome to Cracka. Yes, there is music in the background. Greco Fabulous will probably know what this is if he's watching. There's your clue. Lots to talk about today. Whole bunch. Excellent. There you go. Got a couple reviews, very small reviews for you. Got a nice haul. Lots of questions to answer, which is cool. Funny story, which I thought was actually rather funny. A little depressing, but funny as hell. It's not really depressing, but it's more funny than depressing. But anyway, I've rambled and rambled. Enough of the music for right now. But I had to write everything down, of course, because my memory's getting crazy. People of Earth, it is time for you to bow down to your new leader. Oh, that ain't it. Wrong speech. Anyway, before we get into that, I'm going to do a review first. I'm going to show you my haul and then get into some questions and some, I guess, feedback would be the thing, and maybe tell a story or whatnot here. Got a chance to read Indestructible Hulk number 3, which wasn't all that great. The first two I really liked. The third one I'm kind of like, eh. I don't know. I mean, it has this, I forget what the hell this thing's called, but apparently it's a giant robot that's controlled by 5 people at once. And it's supposed to be like indestructible and, superhuman and all that crap. And the original pilots are all dead except for one, and this guy wants to bring the original pilot in to map his brain patterns and the whole big thing, and they send the Hulk in to kick his ass and all that stuff. Wasn't all that great. I was not impressed by it. The next one, number 4, I'm going to give it its chance. Usually what I do is I give them up to 4 or 5 issues if I'm going to drop them or not. But so far the Hulk, the first 2 issues were cool. This is the only bad one that I didn't think was all that great. So I got to see how number 4 goes. Captain America number 3, I got a chance to read. It's funny, like I'm a simple person, I guess. I like the simple kind of stories where it's not like all involved. You just kind of want to get into it, and that's pretty much what this does. But what sets this apart from the other 2, this book actually hit the holy shit-o-meter. I'm gonna show you because it's kind of hard to explain, I guess. If you don't want to know a spoiler on this, you might want to skip ahead right about now. But Cap gets kind of cut across the chest and can't figure out why he's not bleeding that much. And as you can see, he's got Zola embedded in his chest. That's when it hit the holy shit-o-meter. Hit number 10 on there. So I actually am looking forward to see what number 4 brings. This was pretty cool. Like I said, it's very simple. Like the first one I liked it, but I didn't like it. The second one I thought was kind of cool, and this one was actually pretty cool. They're kind of getting short, though, it seems. Like they have like a lot of, art, and then it's like a little bit of words, and a lot of art, and then nothing. Moving into the last issue of my haul from like a week ago. I saved the best for last. A lot of people don't like this, and some people do. It's like kind of 50-50. They're on the fence. And what kind of sucks is I heard this might actually just be a limited series. But it's Savage Wolverine number 1, which I enjoyed. I thought it was pretty cool. The artwork was cool. And it's Wolverine at his basic. Basic Wolverine. He, got thrown in the Savage Land. And Shauna the She-Devil, I think she's called. I think Cho did a good job. She looks buff. Can you say buff? And Wolverine, like I said, basic Wolverine, man. He's in the jungle and he's just kicking ass straight through. And I'm actually looking forward to the next one. I thought it was good. I really did. It was worth $3.99. That's, like I've said dozens of times, that's how I judge stuff, if it's worth the money or not. And it was. I thought it was interesting. It was cool artwork. It was good dialogue stuff. And, yeah. Alright, I'm going to go into my new haul that I got today. My new haul. Then I'm going to go into some stuff that I found out and some interesting things along the way. I'm going to start with some new DC that I got. Green Lantern number 16, which is part of the Rise of the Third Army. I've been collecting all the Rise of the Third Army. I want to see how it goes. Green Lantern New Guardians number 16. Another tie-in to Rise of the Third Army. And last but not least for the Green Lantern is Green Lantern Corps number 16, which is another one of the Rise of the Third Army tie-in. And this is just an awesome looking cover, just flat out. This is Red Hood and the Outlaws number 16, which is Death in the Family tie-in. That's really cool. And here's another one, Nightwing number 16. He looks kind of like Nightcrawler a little bit. But I've been enjoying the Death in the Family stuff, so I can't wait to see what goes on with that. Moving on. Moving on to some Marvel. Marvel new stuff. Here we go. I got them sorted out. Wolverine and the X-Men, number 24. Apparently he's trying to bang Storm. Good job, Wolverine. Good job. Uncanny X-Force, number 1. And this has been really cool so far. It's kind of funny. It's the only one that's kind of coming out slow. Uncanny Avengers, number 3. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And this I thought was just an interesting cover, and I'm starting to get into it. I think it's just interesting. FF number 3. Very cool. And the other ones I thought were hysterical, so I'm keeping with it. Deadpool number 4, where he's knocking out Lincoln. Jesus. And I got Deadpool Illustrated number 1. He's going to blow up Moby Dick. And these I've liked so far. A lot of people can't stand them, but I just think they're cool little stories. And it's A+X number 4. This one I'm looking forward to. It's Spider-Man and Beast. And last but not least, for the new Marvel, I got the Avengers. What the hell number is this? Number 3. This is the 50-year variant edition. I just thought it was really cool looking. And moving on to some back issues. And a couple of tails here and there. This kind of sucks because I had gotten this already, and I didn't. It pays to check your list. Amazing Spider-Man number 403, but this is actually a better condition copy than the one I got. So, what the hell. Now, this one kind of pissed me off, but I guess I really can't get too pissed off about it. Because it was really cheap. Amazing Spider... Now I know why, though. The Amazing Spider-Man number 195, which is the second appearance of Black Cat. Now, it's marked very good, but I gotta tell you, man, they really should rethink their whole grading system. When you look at it, you know, you look at the cover itself, you're like, yeah, that's actually in pretty good shape. That's the kind of downfall of ordering stuff over online. What you don't notice is when I got it home, got it today, and I took a look at it, it's got, you know, these big black smudges like all over here. You can kind of tell, but you don't really see online. And it's got a big friggin', they didn't show that online, but a nice mark going right across the barcode marker. And the thing that kind of gets me, that, like I said, I fixed it, but it doesn't just aggravate me, it's just kind of stupidity, is when I got the damn thing, there's this huge fold on the bottom, which you really can't see too well. You kind of can see it going across. And it was folded over, and then on the back, the top corner up here was folded in, and then they put it in the bag like that. Why would you leave that like that? Why wouldn't you just fold it back and just put it in so it would, you know, but hey. And the other thing that kind of blows is the fact that when I took it out, it's covered in something. I don't know what the hell is on it. It kind of feels like oil. But I'm going to have to really go through this book before I put it in anything besides if it's got like covered in mildew or something like that, then I don't want to put it in with my other stuff. And I had noticed in the front page when you open it up, it's got writing all across it, and I'm like, oh man. But you know what? I can't bitch too much because it really was only, it was $1. Well, technically it was 85 cents after the discount. So, and it's the second appearance of Black Cat, and it's filling in my collection. So, down the road I'll have to get a better copy of this. But I think from now on, as much as I'm kind of like, you know, I'm going cheap route, I'm filling in the collection, I'm kicking ass. I think from now on I might just stick with fine and very fine from anywhere I get stuff, rather than very good. I'm getting snobby. But anyway, moving on to Amazing Spider-Man number 255. Not bad. Like I said, filling in my collection. It's pretty much what this all is, the back issues. Amazing Spider-Man number 377, which I had to, this is a, what the hell, it's a cool cover, but, oh man, what the hell, I can't think of the damn word. I guess I would say a redo. A redo. It's another copy. I had this copy originally and the whole cover got destroyed, so a replacement copy. There we go. Wow, man, it's been a long day. So this is a replacement copy of this issue, so now I have it in better shape. Amazing Spider-Man number 429. Amazing Spider-Man number 615. I love that cover. That's really, really cool. And last but not least, Amazing Spider-Man number 546, which again, Midtown really has to rethink their grading, because they put this as near mint, and there's this huge spine roll that goes, you can't really see it, but it's basically this, the entire spine looks like it was rolled over, and I'm like, you bastards. But what can I say? I'm almost done with Midtown, so it doesn't really, and like I said, I filled up, I'm putting nice chunks into a dent into my collection there. Anyway, let's go on to some stuff that I have, some stuff I want to answer, some questions, and some things that I've noticed. I got a chance to watch Arrow on Wednesday, which I thought was really cool. The one problem I heard, I really hope this is kind of false, is the rumor going around is that they're not renewing it for a second season because it's not making the numbers they want it to. So they might actually cancel Arrow after the first season, which kind of blows because I'm starting to like it. Well, not starting to. Actually, when I saw the first episode, I was kind of on the fence. But then after the first episode, I was like, this is pretty cool. I gave it its chance, and it's coming along nicely. But who knows? I found out, I was reading that apparently Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler are supposedly going to be in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Jim Carrey's probably going to be Rocket Raccoon. And that will do that for that. Now, a couple interesting questions I had gotten from anonymous people that don't have their own channel and watch my show or have been watching my show. And one guy or girl, whoever it may be, sent me a message stating that they watched my Cracka live episode, the second one that I did with Howler Mouse, and stating that they doubt highly that I met Bruce Campbell or that I'm a liar and all the stuff I say is bullshit and blah blah blah. So I guess I got my hate mail there. And what I find funny is, like I said before, people take the time out to write hateful shit and stuff like I don't believe you, whatever it is, which is fine. Everyone's got their opinion, and I just find it funny that you waste time writing crap about somebody else when you can just not watch it. But hey, to that person, which they claim they're going to be watching more, so I find that even funnier, that didn't believe me that I met Bruce Campbell. Well, here's one photo that's signed. It says Bruce Campbell signature, and it says Ash, which doesn't really mean anything because you could got that anywhere. But there's me and Bruce Campbell. Bam! Oh snap! Kids still say that? Yeah, that's me and Bruce Campbell. Lying, huh? Yeah. What's that? What's that? One more time? Okay. Yeah, there you go. Bad picture of me, but good picture of Bruce Campbell. Yeah, and he signed it. Oh. Well, yeah. One more time? No. We're good. All right. And I do have many more photos of myself and celebrities, and which I was going to do a video on down the line. They're all over the place. They're in front of me. They're on the wall everywhere. Just. And it's funny because I had gotten a question along with that, which somebody different, I believe, I think, is do you get starstruck? I'm not a famous celebrity, so I don't know why you want to know if I get starstruck. But hey, no, not really. The one thing that gets me that I find very strange, and I don't know why it makes it strange, is like, say when I met Bruce Campbell, like I was kind of like shocked. I'm like, wow, I'm actually gonna, meet Bruce Campbell, and I didn't expect anything of it, but he was just an awesome, cool guy. He was funny. And met him once in 2010 at the Philly Comic-Con, and then saw him again in 2011 Philly Comic-Con. Now, what gets me, it's not meeting the actual person. This will sound strange. It's when they walk by you in a crowd or something like that, and you kind of notice them. Like when in 2011, Bruce Campbell was wearing like a tuxedo and walked right by me like 15 times, and I'm just like, "What's Bruce Campbell?" It kind of blows my mind. It's weird. Like, everyone is different, I guess. But some people were like, "Oh my god!" Like when they're on the line, I'm gonna meet this person. I'm kind of like, eh. But when they walk past me and just out of nowhere, or like when Ted Ted DiBiase, the million dollar man. I was walking out of when I was in Philadelphia this year. Well, last year. It's 2013 now. With my fiance, he was walking into the restaurant. We're walking. He's like, "Is it any good in there?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's It took me. I'm like, Jesus. I was like, the $1 million man's asking me if this is a good restaurant. I'm like, damn. But that's what gets me is when he's just like, obviously they're ordinary people, well, ordinary people, but they're people. So, but it just kind of it freaks me out when they're like walking around like, you know, normal people. I guess you're just kind of like, wow, that's me. I'm strange. Anyway, this is well, I guess this isn't really. I don't know if this is really kind of leaning towards hate mail, but what the hell. I can't even read my own writing anymore. Oh yeah, why don't you do your reviews early in the week? How come you always seem to do them on Fridays or Saturdays now? It's because that's when I get the books. I used to get them on Comic Book Wednesday. I used to go to the store. I used to love it and pick stuff up, but comic stores have been pissing me off. So I started ordering from Midtown, and Midtown likes to take forever to ship stuff, especially when I live in New York. It's kind of funny. And I don't usually get the books till Friday or Saturday, or even sometimes the following week, or even later. Depends when Midtown decides to send them. But like I've said in a couple previous episodes, I actually am going to start going to comic stores again. Well, at least one, Phoenix Comics. Starting in like a week or two when my Midtown stuff runs out, and I'm going to start going there. So I might have reviews and stuff earlier. Moving on to another question. You really need to update your channel more. It's the same stuff in the background as well as the same photo. Okay. Yeah. I don't really see a point to changing it. I got the giant crack in the background of my channel with the X through it because it's not supposed to be a cracker. It's a cracka, if you get the joke. And my aardvark, I always thought it was funny that he peed on the floor. But who knows? Maybe I will update it. Also, actually, this was something my friend was telling me, that on the right-hand side of your channel, he's like, dude, you got to put more stuff on there than just leaving it. I'm like, I never even noticed really anything. I just wrote down, this is the show of this and this, and he's like, no, man, you should write what this really is about. And so I'm going to take that to advisement, maybe fill in that stuff. Let's see here. What else do I have on my agenda? Oh, yeah. This kind of got me, too, that I was looking at. YouTube. What the hell is with them and wanting to know your real name all of a sudden? Like, they're up my ass. It's like every time I turn on YouTube, they look at my channel. It's like, oh, use your real name. If I wanted to use my real name, I would have put my real name. If I wanted everyone to know my real name, I would have told everyone my real name. I know a few people on here that have subscribed to me do know my real name. But what the hell, man? It's, oh, use your real name. What's the point? So some hacker can come around and say, hey, I'm going to steal your identity, which they can have. My identity's not all that great. But anyway, yeah, I don't get that at all. But one last thing on my actually, I'll get into that. But I want to say Hippies Collectibles got a cool contest, and I'm sorry, man, that's you're gonna miss Stan Lee, but at least you're gonna get the book signed, and you met him already, so that's kind of cool. But like you said, man, he's an old man. He's got to really kind of watch what he does, because he's not 65 anymore. He's 91, I think now. Damn. But shit happens, and it sucks. But like I said, at least you got the positive attitude. You don't have to stand in line, which is a bitch, believe me. Well, anyway, now on to a interesting story, which is going to kind of tie into some stuff. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. My channel originally was supposed to be not just for comics, and granted, I've been doing some video games, done before, not really been doing lately, which I'll have to get back into. But it's supposed to be like a lot of different things, like comedy and stuff like that. Like I said, movie reviews, which I've been kind of slacking. I've been focusing a lot more on comics than anything else. So hopefully soon I'm going to be altering the program and starting doing a lot more stuff that I originally wanted to do. Go over movies a little more, go over some games. Hopefully have special guests on here like I wanted to. A lot of my friends, they all mean well. Everybody wants to be on the show. I'll go on and on, but then when crunch time comes, man, like I said, I understand things come up, things happen, because they do it to me all the time. Like I'll be telling people, like, yeah, I'll be there, no problem, and then all of a sudden something freaking comes around. So I know it happens. So hopefully down the line, I'm gonna have more special guests and do more live episodes, which A live episode today, I don't think is going to happen. I really wanted it to. My fiance, she got a promotion at work, and her friends at work are taking her out, and a whole big thing because she's moving departments or something like that. And originally, it had nothing to do with me. I'm like, hey, congratulations, all right, see ya. You're gonna be out all night? All right, yes. I'll do my live show without having people, have her yell in the background. Are you done yet? Are you done yet? But now, not gonna say unfortunately, but she wants me to go along with her. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be. I don't know. It's her day, so she let her do what she wants. But I don't really know anybody, which doesn't really matter. It doesn't stop me at all before anyway. New people, hey, what's up? You can find out how crazy I am and pity her. Anyway, but it goes into what happened today, which is kind of interesting. That's why I'm freshly shaved. I got my hair all nice, and this is not depressing, but it is. I thought it was pretty funny because my attitude, the way I am. I just don't. Maybe because I'm getting older, I just don't give a shit anymore. I don't know. Went on a job interview. Figured, what the hell? I'll give it a whirl. Filled out an application. Got the interview right away. Got all nice, dressed up. Not a suit and tie, but nice shirt and tie and jacket kind of thing. And went to this interview. I'm not gonna say where for what it's for, but I'm just gonna tell you the gist of this. This is what's wrong with the world. Sitting there in the interview, and a lot of people. There was a lot of people there for the interview of the position I was going for, which was cashier and stock and all this stuff. And there was kind of two positions. One was at a warehouse, and then one is the actual store, which I didn't care. It really wouldn't have mattered. Either or. I don't really care. Even overnight doesn't bother me. But anyway, sitting in this little cramped room with I think 7 people besides me that are waiting for the same thing. And this one guy, I swear, was strung out like Beaker from the Muppets, man. He was just like, oh my god, I gotta get this job. And he's like shaking. I'm like, dude, calm down. And he's like, you're not nervous? I'm like, no. He's like, well, how are you not nervous? I'm like, well, one, I don't do drugs, so I don't have to worry about a drug test. So, if they ask, can you go tomorrow or today, whatever, not nervous. 2, I don't drink, so I don't have to look like I'm an alcoholic. And 3, whatever. You get it? You get it. You don't? You don't. You do the best you can. That's just me. I just don't. I like I said, I don't know if it's because I got older. I just don't care. I'm just like, whatever. But yeah, the guy was really high strung. I was like, oh my god. And but this is like I said, this is what's wrong with the world. I go into the interview, and I always do well in interviews. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I just get at it. I walked in, shook the guy's hand, sat down, and the guy, said, hey, what's your name, blah, 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 usual crap. Starts asking me questions. He's like, hey, do you have a problem lifting more than 50 pounds? I said, no, I don't. He's like, do you have a problem changing your schedule at a moment's notice? I said, no, I don't. Usual crap, usual BS. And then he says, would you mind, if we don't give you a position here, would you mind working in our warehouse at either overnight or regular hours? I said, not really. I was like, but it also depends on where the warehouse is. And he's like, oh, it's in Brooklyn. And I'm like, oh, all right. I was like, is there a train that goes anywhere near there, a bus, something like that? And he's like, oh, why, you don't have a car? And well, before that, he's like, oh, he's like, we don't know if we're going to really hire anybody for this particular store or the warehouse. It's kind of up and up because of the economy. It's really bad. Where you don't know, whole big economy spiel, which, whatever. But anyway, when I asked him, is it near a train? He's like, oh, no, I don't think it is. He goes, why? He's like, you don't have a car? I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, why not? I was like, economy. So I kind of joked with the guy, and he kind of, I guess, didn't get it. And, but I told him, I was like, as long as I know where I'm going, if you give me an address, I'll find it. And I was like, I always usually do a dry run, the 2 nights before, so I know where I'm going, so I won't be late. And I was like, so, you tell me where I got to go, and I'll be there. And he kind of looked at me, and then he had his phone over to the side or whatever it is, and it goes off, and he doesn't answer it, which is the polite thing to do. We should have turned it off to begin with. I turned mine off, and then he's asking me other questions like if I do I do drugs, do I drink, do I smoke? I'm like no. He's like, oh, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. And he's asking me questions and more, like I said, going on and on. And then he's kind of looking at his phone. He's like, I guess looking at text messages, and he's asking me other questions. And it got to the point where I realized he wasn't even listening to a damn word I was saying after a certain time. Which most of the time, interviews, they're over pretty quick. Sometimes you're in there 15 minutes, the longest. And I'm in there, and like I said, I'm watching this guy's body language, and he's not really paying attention to anything. And he asked me, like, one of the question about, I quite honestly, I don't really remember what he said. I just remember he answered the question. That's what I said to him. I couldn't stop. I always had to try to keep myself from grinning. I was laughing too much just to see if this guy was paying attention. This is how bored I was. He's like, oh, what'd you do with this? What'd you do with that? I think like what I did before. I was like, well, I was like, recently I was abducted by space raccoons. And I was like, who made me their leader? And I was like, and I was sent back down to Earth. I was like, but you know what? If you give me the job, I was like, I'll make sure I'll put you on the do not eat list. And he's like, oh yeah, that's great. That's great. I'm like, it is great. I was like, hell, if I could light my own farts, I'd really be in business. He's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And not paying attention. And I said, I was like, if worse comes to worse, I was like, I know I can always use my penis as a pogo stick, and that's definitely a way to get around. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, definitely. He's like, I totally feel you on that. I was like, I really, I couldn't. Oh man, he's like, oh, thanks for coming. I'm like, no, thank you. And oh man, yeah, it was a fun time, and like I said, that's how I am. So I don't think I'm gonna be getting that thing anytime soon, because at the end he's like, oh, if we'll let you know in a week or two, because blah blah blah, and we have to go through your application, and yeah, there I am, Bruce Campbell and me. Anyway, that will do it for this lovely episode. Again, I don't think I'm gonna. Actually, I know I'm probably not gonna do a live show, but if I do, you'll see it. Obviously, I mean, I'll put it on there. And Legendary Collectible, I don't think I'm gonna be able to be on your live show either, because it's funny. Your time was originally the time I was gonna do my live show, but then I was like, maybe we'll do it earlier. But so that kind of worked out, I guess. But if I don't make it on to check out your show, good luck, man. You got good stuff. Especially if you get Howler Mouse and him on there and DeCosta, you're in good hands. But anyway, that will do it for this long ass episode. But I think I did pretty good there. I showed you some back issues that I had gotten, some new stuff. I went over some answers of questions. I showed you myself and Bruce Campbell one more time. And what can I tell you? If you like what you see, please hit the little like button. If you really like what you see, you can hit the subscribe button. It's not the size of your man cave that matters. It's what you have in it.